from Relationship Fun and Games.
And Fights Clean Sex Dirty TV.
And we have a very special tip we're going to share with you this week on how to keep the fights clean as it starts. And it's called...
Yes, do you need some loving? You know, when you come home from a long day, or maybe you've been working at home like us, we work from home, and you're just, cranky. Maybe you haven't eaten, it's been a busy day. Maybe in our case, one thing that will set us off is a, computer melts down or is running slow or drops a call during an important, meeting or something of that nature. But you're just feeling cranky and, the argument is starting. You're kind of say to your partner, you're like, well, you didn't do this. Well, you didn't do that. And it just starts into this downward spiral and you start feeling the separation growing and you start thinking, I don't even want to sit next to this person at dinner, let alone crawl into bed with them. It's a slippery slope and you don't want to go there. So we have lots of tips for you, but this is one specific one. We created this, about a year ago? And oh my gosh, has it made a difference for us.
Yeah, whenever I feel like there's no moving past an argument really spiraling down, I remember this tip and it immediately transforms the argument and into actually a more loving moment. Right?
Let's show them what it was like beforehand.
Okay.
Raj, you're late again. You said you would be ready for dinner at 7. What is going on?
I'm super busy. Why can't you leave me alone and just get that I have to work so hard?
Yeah, what do you notice? Get off my back.
Get off my back.
Get off my back, right? Okay, we don't want it to go that way. And I'm like, I'm not on your back. You said you were going to do this and you're not doing it.
If you only knew how busy I was.
I get you're busy, but what difference does that make?
Right?
Okay.
Pretty much goes like that.
And it could go worse quickly.
Yeah.
But instead, how can it go? So, because what's happening, when your beloved is being cranky with you, they really have a lot of stuff going on. So if you say, don't take your stuff out at me, they're going to get defensive. They're just not in a good place. So if you notice your beloved's not in a good place, then you want to bring a little lightness to it, bring their awareness to what's going on, and say, this tip is kind of shorthand for how you can say to them, I know you're probably having a tough time and I want to be here and be supportive of you, but try not to take this out on me and let's see how we can work through this.
Yeah, and one way to look at this tip is that usually when we're upset, we revert to some younger aged version of ourselves and we're throwing like a little temper tantrum.
Yeah, exactly.
And when a kid is throwing a temper tantrum, it's way easier to comfort them and console them and have them kind of move out of that space if you be loving with them.
Yeah, then as opposed to just saying, stop it.
Stop it.
That doesn't
work.
Yeah,
they usually get louder.
Any parents with toddlers will know that it doesn't work. Yeah. And the reality is we're all a bunch of 4-year-olds in adult bodies. We still have the same emotional reactions. We just put a little smart language on it, and yeah. This doesn't work for me.
And we're bigger, so.
So instead, Raj and I came up with, we said, okay, one day, we said, well, what do we do when someone's bringing that friction to you? And instead of lashing out at them, but you want to kind of call attention to it. And we came up with saying, do you need some loving? And the funniest thing is, every time Raj says that, when I'm being really bitchy and he says, do you need some loving? I mean, first of all, it's a pattern interrupt, right? Because I'm cranky and I'm expecting him to be cranky. When people don't get into that ping pong that they're expecting, that problem ping pong, well, you and blame and this and that and back and forth, they're kind of disarmed and they're like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So when you say, do you need some loving? It just changes that pattern and it also reminds them you're here to support them, but you don't want to be a punching bag. So to have them kind of meet you halfway, and usually if I'm being bitchy at Raj and he says that, I'll say, yes, I need lots and lots of loving. And then it's just a good laugh and we get to have a hug and we can shift out of that thing that was causing tension and bringing us to be separate. And instead of just even moving past it or having it pull us apart, instead we use that as an intimate moment to bring us together. We've got a little code with just a few words. Do you need some loving?
Now, when you say, do you need some loving, say it with love.
Yes.
Don't say it with sarcasm.
In some ways, this can be a ninja move. This may not be your starter move, in a relationship if you're fighting all the time. But if you want to disarm an argument, if someone's being nasty, it's really amazing just to ask them if they need some loving, if they need some support and what you can do, rather than making them wrong for being cranky and under-resourced. What's that great quote? People need your love the most when they deserve it the least.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those tools to use in those moments.
Yes. So when they least deserve the love, when they're not being loving and sweet to you, shift that dynamic, give that love to them and ask them, do you need some loving? So join us for more on this tip and lots of tips. You can check out our website, our previous episodes of Fights Clean, Sex Dirty TV, and our blogs. Just look for that logo of Fights Clean as it starts, because as you know, we do our content between Fights Clean and Sex Dirty, before, as it starts, during, and after, so that you can find the tips that are most applicable to your relationship right now.
Here's to you having a playful, peaceful, passionate relationship. And remember,
Save being nasty for your sex life. Bye-bye.
See you soon.